fight.
Well, you overheard it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I didn't hear anything.
If I can hear it, you can hear it too.
I don't
I have
believe
no
it.
idea what you're talking about.
I think this is fake news, pal. I think you're lying.
You
All
lie.
right. What about Underlord makes this hero work for this draft?
Their idea is that they're going to, Na'Vi won't do enough damage to win this game. But Navi's about to pick an Alchemist, and then they're going to win this game.
That is
We've seen that exact draft from them, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's perfect because they just have to survive the first 15 minutes, which is quite easy when one team fight with your mass team fight lineup just wins you the game. And Tigers have no real way to close out a map at the moment. And I don't like that they're putting their playmaker on Underlord. He needs to have a great laning phase in order to win this game, and your two cores are going to probably be Lina Morana, which is just it's awkward.
Look at
Very
that frown of Seneko.
It's not a frown, it's focus.
No, it's a
He
frown.
looks angry.
He is
Why is he
very
angry?
focused. He's thinking.
He's
very
angry,
hard.
Fever.
You'd be angry if you were playing for Na'Vi for the last 2 years.
Take it easy.
Well,
Magical
that's
looks a
actually
lot more
toxic.
relaxed. He's like, trust his captain.
Blizzy, he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Testing out the wheels of his chair. And
1 minute left.
So we got one Alchemist vote. I'm still going for Monkey King.
There's not going to Monkey King.
what did they do yesterday instead of the Alchemist in the other game that they had the exact same draft in apart from the last pick? What did they end up going for? Don't worry, I'll look it up.
Techies.
No, I did not know.
They might have had a Lina or something. I think it was TA. Pretty sure it was TA.
One was Alchemist, the other one was Clinks.
Oh,
Damn, Kyle.
This is the exact same draft they had against Infamous Game 1
Exact
yesterday.
same draft.
exactly.
Then why don't they ban it, Cheever?
I don't know.
Too many heroes to ban. They're distracted by the previous games, not recognizing that they don't matter. It's all about this last final game.
It is. It is all about this last final game.
And
Bulldog,
you go first.
you up first.
I'm sad to say it. Just like I predicted, Navi will win, because that Underlord is bad.
Why are you sad to say that?
I don't know, actually. I'm happy. We only win. Just like I predicted.
All right. Since it's game 5, I'm going to switch it up. Instead of trying to predict who loses, I'm now going to just make, the naysayers silent. Navi's going to win. I'm sure of it. I'm really serious this time. That Alchemist pick is A-OK. It's comfort heroes for all 5 players. And Team Tigers, you ain't got this.
He's copying me.
Hi.
Jesus.
I think I want to see the Tigers.
Okay, guys, this is it. I am going for Navi as well, but really, our predictions don't mean anything at all. Sorry to say. They really do not. All that matters is this 5th game is going to decide who's going to be the champion here for the first minor and who is going to be in second place and therefore disappointed in their own performance. It is over to Oni Pixel and Fog for game 5.
Yes, Game 5 of the Corsair DreamLeague Season 10 Minor, ladies and gentlemen. Na'Vi versus Tigers. I'm Oni Pixel, I'm here with Fogged. One of these teams is going to the major in just over a week's time. Which is it going to be? And I think fitting as ever that we sort of have Na'Vi, the CIS representatives, Tigers, the SEA representatives. These two regions, I think a lot of people sort of come around, during sort of the announcement of the major, with the two regions where people said they deserve another invite. Get another team from one of these regions. And we're seeing them absolutely duel it out here. One game left in this best of 5. Which region is going to be sending another team to the major? We will find out. We've seen the drafts. Fogged, as the panel said, we've seen this draft with Na'Vi before. They get it through again. Do you like the fact that Tigers as a team sort of let a team come in with another winning draft? Is it sort of good for Tigers because at the same time they could have read this and they could have in their minds a way to deal with it with their own lineup?
They've seen the game.
Yeah.
They've seen the way it can be played, and they do have a fast-paced game, right? They have this, like, similar as last time. They have all these spamming heroes. It's a very similar draft, just placing a couple heroes. All these heroes have constant amount of spam, and they do have ways to actually kill this Alchemist. I think Navi's, it's a bit greedy, but if they can actually get away with it, like if they can actually get away with like stalling out and taking these big team fights, it'll be beautiful to look at. And I don't know who to go with because, you know, Bulldog has 100% right prediction. Kyle has like a 0%, and they both went for the same team.
Yeah. If anything, we can only hope that means that we get an incredibly close game
100%
to finish off this series, as that is hopefully how it is written in the ways that we saw those predictions goes.
Yep.
As we say, magical. Sort of one of the sort of the powers of his alchemist is, you know, we've seen sort of magical on multiple heroes just be so good with sort of his farming patterns. You know, the way that he's able to realize which point to leave that lane and just get so much out of his own jungle.
Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of, they just have so much kill threat is the one thing I'm looking at Tigers. It's a very fast-paced draft. Their cooldowns are not really that much that they need to rely on. It's a Laguna. Laguna is their actual only long cooldown. I mean, yeah, Underlord Rift and Moonlight Shadow, but I mean by like killing people and like just actually going for these big damage plays. While on the side of Na'Vi, it's Phoenix, Void, Enigma, Tree, like all these heroes have incredibly long duration cooldowns on their ultimates. But like I said, if they can actually slow the pace down of this game and not allow Tigers to end it, this Alchemist has 4 Aghanims that he can give that are fantastic. He can also have a great time to tank up versus this lineup. It's just about Tigers ending it with a timing push with an Underlord, with like Greaves or his Pipe or his Crimson Guard, and just trying to end this before Na'Vi are able to get online.
And talking about the Underlord, what is your opinion of it? Sort of as, you know, the panel said they wanted to see Moon on more of maybe a playmaking flashy hero like the Pangolier. Getting him on this Underlord, this hero, as you said, that we can expect to see just building up the auras, offering to sort of just shoving his way down a lane, backing up the team for a 5-man push in the mid game. Do you like sort of the opportunities that Tigers can find with an Underlord this game?
I prefer Moon playing the playmakers, honestly. I 100% agree with the panel, and I like seeing him saying these heroes. Seeing him do these like high skill heroes that are just like doing crazy flashy plays. Underlord, you kind of just stand there and you're casting your stuff. His bottom
lane.
Do they have it?
They don't.
The bash?
The bash, indeed. That bash from Crystallize, stopping Tigers from getting first blood. One more right click from Argit would have done it.
Beautiful.
At the same time, though, 1437 getting some good blocks onto Seneko.
Got a Mango.
He is going to go for the TP out. There's the Mango. The Frostbite, 1437 with the outplay. Secures first blood for Tigers nonetheless.
And the tip immediately.
It's all on, everything to play for in this best of 5 final game.
Mm-hmm. Alchemist is doing great in that mid matchup already, as we see him. He does quite well versus Lina's, even if the Lina has like such high range and all that. Bottom though, Crystallize is being slowed down quite a lot. He has brought in a significant amount of regen, as we've seen him do all the time on this vote. Actually, he always brings the 9 tangos plus that Salve, so he can eat that pressure.
I like it. You've got to be able to stay in the lane.
Yeah.
That's true. Trying his best to sort of keep vision on the side, but they've got the sentry down, Tigers.
So the Underlord, though, the one thing is, it is about looking at Na'Vi's draft. Their damage, until they have items, is very limited. Of course, they have like all these big ultimates, but when you really look at it, the brunt force of it, their damage is just not really there. It's like Phoenix is going to provide probably the majority of the damage in that early game.
Some cute little body blocking there with the Eidolons to allow a fair few punches to come in onto Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is true. Yeah, you sort of see this game, Pipe, Crimson Guard. Yeah, Na'Vi is going to severely struggle to get kills in the team fights.
Absolutely. And he's going to be off to a great start on the Underlord. Being able to just be that frontliner for his team to just look to try to snowball those kills. Now Lina is starting to build up in the level, so I mean a little bit more harassment onto Magical, but he's very good at being able to keep his last hits up on this Alk. Level 4 already versus that level 5 Lina, so Lina getting a couple more denies because you know you're versus Alchemist. Acid Spray just helps you get denies in a lot of those cases. Tigers are ready. A little bit ahead in this laning start, especially with how they're pressuring the Void, getting that first blood, of course, with Crystal Maiden. And like the panel, like Shiva mentioned too, we went back and we're like, Tiny's won every single game in this grand final so far. And Tigers, they first pick it for Zephyr.
Yeah, definitely for Zephyr as well, the hero that he seems the most comfortable on.
100%.
We've seen his sort of Lina and the Wyvern performances both quite lacking in this best of 5. With the Tiny, you can expect Zephyr to perform.
Bounty runes, 10 seconds. People already starting to prepare for them. We see the tree already kind of making his way to them. Underlord looks like he's trying to make sure he claims the enemy one, but
Lizzie,
there's a Lina here too.
He's in a bit of a strange position as he was hiding behind the tree, but indeed with a rotation from In Your Dream, he gets cut down. Same time, Crystallize, he He's going to get taken out by Arjit there as that attempt for bounty runes by Na'Vi up and down the map off to a huge disaster as they lose 2.
Yeah, we saw the way the Tigers was playing in the last game, right? They made sure they set up really good lanes, and they claimed pretty much all the bounty runes. Oh, stops the pull there with Zephyr. Nice play there. But yeah, making sure that they can keep that economy war going, and we're going to see, most likely, 1437, since the way that they played it the last time, 2 versus a Storm Spirit who goes to jungle, he's going to place those deep wards down again. Place one at the shrine near that, you know, the triangle. Well, you know, it's a radiant triangle, it's a little bit different. And then place one to watch those hard camps of the Alchemist. So we'll get spotted more than likely, and that one should, or might get dewarded. May actually not have been seen. But they will get those deep vision down to be able to keep tabs of this Alchemist to look to dive. And Lina can definitely look to make those dives. If there's no Chemical Rage, they can look to get those setups with the dual rotation with CM, with Tiny, and Lina. But this time around, Na'Vi, they're preparing a little bit more. They have their own defensive ward placed extremely early. 6 minutes in, they place a high ground ward to try to protect this Alchemist.
They have to
2
do
defensive wards.
everything possible to make sure the Magical's got a safe space to farm.
Yeah, look at that. So you don't really see those wards coming out like this, but they know they have a bit of a greedy draft when it comes to it.
Bottom lane, trying to look for the setup onto Arjit, but as soon as he's aware they're hunting for him, pops elite, keeps the distance, he's out of there.
They're not giving him any space.
Does indeed make the invasion. They've got the setup, he'll get the Chemical Rage off, but the tree throw, it's enough. Perfect move from Tigers as they sweep across Na'Vi's half of the map and punish Magical. Down bottom, Arjit, he did try and jump back in to kill off the Phoenix. But Soneko just able to survive with the stick charges.
A solid aggressive start. Like we said, Tigers, they've got these heroes with all this spam.
They can
we saw
punch
them
it.
do similar to the last game, just constant throwing of spells out, constant being able to invade with the CM Tiny. They can definitely put the pressure on. Na'Vi have to be able to stall this one out so they can get their farm and get their big ultis off on time. Because we have seen them do so many times, like the panel said too. They've ran this exact draft. They've ran Void with Phoenix, Void with Enigma, time and time again throughout this tournament. Just can they get to that point to make sure they can make sure this Alchemist is a significant force as he's just being hunted.
Here's Zephyr. Magical's got the Chemical Rage. Also has the backup of the Living Armor. Starts to punch Zephyr away. No TP's coming in to sort of wrap around and get the kill onto Zephyr though, so Zephyr will still be unable to hang around.
Another deep ward.
Keep a look in onto Magical, try and still CS that he can.
He gets both of them there, and he's looking to get another one, and he will take them all.
He's taken every single one, including the skeletons at bottom lane. They've got crystallized too. 1437 and Arjit finding the pick off. It's 5-0, 8 minutes in, a 3k lead for Tigers. They have that pace that they can utilize with this fantastic lineup for sort of punishing the lanes, sort of the weaker early game lanes that Na'Vi have, so that they can get this early advantage, and they're doing it perfectly so far.
The playmaking on Na'Vi is just very limited until those 6s come out, like we keep saying. Tigers, they can just run from lane to lane with this Tiny, with this Crystal Maiden to look to set up kills, but now there at least is a Black Hole available for Blizzy. But look at Zephyr, he's just following Magical.
And there's no one keeping him off him. We are now going to see Soneko head over. They drew at the toss, the Avalanche, but Blizzy's there as well with the Malefice. They should be able to kill Zephyr off, as he has certainly been a huge nuisance so far for Na'Vi. But he will finally get punished. Magical able to chase him underneath the tower, and they get the kill. Crystallize still trying to find that last bit of XP to get him towards the level 6 on the Void, as he still stands without a chrono available. They just have to make sure that there's space here for Magical so that he can continue to farm. And they cannot let Tigers consistently get away with these deep invasions of Na'Vi's half of the map.
Crystallize is going, he has to farm the mid lane though, you're talking about, so that means Chu is bottom, but as a tree versus a Mirana, he can't really walk up and get too many last hits. If he does, he gets harassed significantly. And Tigers, they're not slowing down. They want to keep this pace up. They want to keep hunting for kills constantly.
Magical.
1437.
He's going to have eyes on him, but in your dreams there. Light strikes down, they won't commit with the burst. They know there's not quite enough. Crystallize is coming across. He's got a Chronosphere, pops it. He gets the catch onto the Lina that they need. Do they have follow-up disable and detection afterwards? They do have a sentry down, but the Laguna will still come out. They lose Soneko, but they get the kill on In Your Dream. Jump forward now with the point in concoction. Magical throws it down onto 1437, but they don't have any further detected, but it doesn't matter. Blizzy, he goes for the blind black hole. The Moonlight Shadow's about to out. Midnight Pulse is down. They'll kill off 1437. Magical looking to chase for more. Concussion back up in 5 seconds. That was a strong play from Blizzy, committing the black hole onto the 2 Moonlight Shadow targets. The concoction's cooking up as they get this connection onto Zephyr. Time Warp forward by Crystallize. Malefice is there as well as Na'Vi. They'll show Tigers what they think about Tigers invading their jungle time after time.
And Blizzy coming in incredibly clutch there, getting both of the heroes actually inside of that black hole. That was so needed. And Na'Vi, they're able to at least expend those big ultis to get themselves some kills. When they do get those level 6s online immediately, they look to just try to respond. Make sure they can try to get some space on the map. Void still not really able to farm, but it's all about the Alchemist, right? And he's now given space, so he's top net worth. I think he's getting 2,200 net worth after all that plays out, after they get themselves those 3 kills. Or 4 kills.
Zephyr back in his favorite place. Trying to take what he can from the Alchemist to disrupt that sort of Grieval's gold streak that he tries to build up. Sneko on the top lane has nearly managed to sweep up the XP needed for his level 6.
Okay. Just get all those level 6s online, get all your ultis ready so you can actually have damage to come through. Still going to be a little bit limited.
Asmoon will claim the tier 1 tower top.
Tigers have to be very careful of how they overextend into plays when they know that those ultis are available. Right now, like we said though, it's only going to be the Phoenixes available for some time now, as Chrono and Enigma both have a long cooldown, and Wonder Kid, he's on the prowl.
Yes, it is under ward of vision, so Na'Vi know that he's heading down here. Midnight Pulse dropped. There's a quick Malefice as well onto the Mirana. Blizzy trying to juke out the arrow, but the arrow still connects. He ends up walking into it. Jump forward from Arjit with the commitment of the Burst of the Laguna. They get the kill. 1437. He is trapped up, surrounded. Can they kill True in time? They cannot. They do still kill him, but he was able to bring down 1437, win it. Sneko, he knows the 2 of them are sort of in there. Does have a supernova, but at the same time cannot commit it against these 2 heroes that are fantastic at taking down the egg. So he'll back off as Tigers continue to get these favorable trades. Even with sort of Na'Vi, as I say, seeing that movement from Lina, they were unable to react in time and get the 2 of them out of there.
Yeah. And in this game too, we see Moon's build. I actually love that he went for the Dominator as well on top of the hood. The Dominator, now he can actually get this item that can counter the BKB Black Hole in the later stages. If he gets the Dark Troll Summoner, if that's the choice that he wants to, he can, and also applies him able to apply his own lane pressure. He can actually get this catapult, keep pressuring down towers, spamming in those waves, and keep Na'Vi responding to him. Keep this threat of an Underlord.
Do you like this sort of change up as well from Blizzy? We saw in the previous 2 games on Enigma, he goes for the Midas into BKB. This game, he just goes straight for the Pipe Rush.
I mean, there's so much magic damage on the side of Tigers. They did a similar thing as the last game, where they pick a Crystal Maiden and they pick like 4 magic damage spammers. It could pay off. It could hurt if he doesn't get an early blink BKB, and it also could hurt that he doesn't have like this Midas that he can rely on farming. But he has to be able to make plays early on. I think that's his thought process because of how greedy their draft is.
Black Hole up in a couple of seconds, but they will not be able to get themselves on top of Zephyr. Zephyr now with the phase boots on.
Phase boots? That's different. Seen him mostly just rushing out his blink dagger so he can keep the pressure going. Gives him high base damage and high mobility so he can keep running around the map, and he is pretty much just running around the map, so. Was he? Oh, look at these juicy neutrals. Look at these neutrals.
Stealing so much from Magic. Spot him. Actually looking for the setup here with the overgrowth. Chrono's down as well. If they get a couple of bashes, they should have this. He needs 1 more. He's not going to get it. As Arjit with the 3 leaps is out of there. 1 more bash would have done it, but RNG not on Crystallize's side.
Like we said, the draft of Na'Vi, it's extremely limited in damage. That is why we saw Tigers, they last picked this Underlord. If he can just itemize, then they can just try to go for closing this game. But Magical, even though he's been slowed down a bit, his relic timing, about 14 minutes with Treads and a Soul Ring, not too shabby.
No. Not going to be the time. I believe with this draft last time around, we saw him get the sort of crazy 11-minute radiant timing.
He did.
So certainly going to be a much tougher game in comparison to that one.
He's been contested an insane amount this game. Just the invasions coming out from this tiny CM. Just everybody always has such high mana on the side of Tigers that they can keep playing on the map. They don't have to back up at all. They just can keep making these moves consistently to try to pressure the Na'Vi greedy lineup. And so far, it's working. 5k gold lead. They need to keep it up. Keep this deep vision down.
Certainly seems that, as we expected, Tigers, they knew exactly how Na'Vi was going to end this draft. They sort of let the Alchemist through because they had this way of approaching and punishing the Alchemist pick.
Got bounty runes in about 10 seconds. Tigers want to ideally try to claim as many of those as possible versus an Alchemist, but look at Navi. They're emphasizing so much on trying to claim it. Moon, he's just walking in. He is. Tigers is here too.
They are coming in with the wraparound. The quick burst means the Seneko is not going to get the chance to get the ult off. They've got the root down onto the two of them as well as the freezing field. Magical falls. Blizzy gets hit by a tree. As Tigers just reading every single movement and intention from Na'Vi this game.
Yeah, flawless move so far. I mean, it's 5-11. They've gotten a lot of like Na'Vi having to commit some big ultis to get these kills, but Tigers, they're emphasizing so much on this pressure. The arrow, crystallize.
He has to get out of it.
He's getting chased though.
He is. He's already used the first time. Look, he's going to have it back up in a couple of seconds, but they have the control. So many stuns for this Void to worry about.
And they claimed themselves 3 of the 4 bounty runes in that last time. Magical did end up getting the one top. But again, just like last time, we see the way Tigers is prioritizing the game versus this greedy draft. Moon, stepped up a bit far, doesn't have mana for the Rift out either.
Does he? Does have the wraparound with the Malefice and the Sunray. They've got a good amount of damage ticking him down. The Overgrowth and Supernova being used as well, as they cannot risk Moon getting away.
It's a lot of gold they get for just that kill. 2 ultis used, Overgrowth as well as the Phoenix Egg. And the Phoenix, like we're mentioning, he's a lot of the damage coming in for the side of Na'Vi for quite a long time. Magical.
They lead in, Avalanche, Light Strike, Crystallize jumps forward. He's got the Chrono if he can close the gap, but he can't do so. They're a little too speedy with the Face Boost on Zephyr and the Fire Soul stacks. Felina's out of there. 1437 won't be quite as fortunate as he takes an acidic concoction to the face from Magical. Na'Vi get themselves another kill. Still 8k behind though at 16 minutes in.
And now the full pipe finished up for the Underlord. So that little physical damage that Na'Vi has, pretty much all magic damage for a very long time in this draft, is going to be heavily mitigated by that. They just keep this map control going. Their deep wards, most of them have timed out or been countered out by Na'Vi, but we have to expect Tigers. They're just going to keep running at the side of Na'Vi.
Blizzy, quick dupe to the Pit of Malice, won't be rooted today.
The mini stuns.
Very close to having the complete pipe for the team. Yep. Radiance now done for Magical.
It's just a Radiant Stone. Look at those other 2 cores on the side of Na'Vi. They are not farming well whatsoever. The Tiny is about to surpass Crystallize in farm. And Crystallize, he doesn't have any space to get any farm. This Alchemist needs all of it. Immediate invasions by Tigers.
He's starting to poke outside of the base, but 1437, he's got friends nearby. Moon is there. They will manage to hold themselves near the shrine. Light Strike comes down out onto the tree, and they're by the shrine, healing up. Chu, he's thinking about throwing out the Overgrowth. Blizzy, he does go for the Black Hole. Gets the 2 of them, but the Light Strike's there from In Your Dream, from the high ground. Have the instant cancel. They take down the 2 of them. Na'Vi have lost 2 kills. They're trying to fight back. The Chrono is not going to save the Supernova. It's a disaster for Na'Vi. Light Strike through the Chronosphere, holds down Crystallize. The arrow, it connects. Tigers, they're not done with just 4. They'll take the full team wipe. In Your Dream gets an ultra kill. As Na'Vi there, they used the Overgrowth, they used the Black Hole, they used the Supernova, they used the Chronosphere. It didn't matter, they lost everybody.
They don't have the damage, and Tigers, with all this lockdown, with all this spam ability, they're not ready to threaten high ground. It's less than 20 minutes, and 10k gold lead. Uh-oh, Tigers, they had a plan versus this heavy greedy draft from Na'Vi, and so far they're executing it perfectly. Already on the high ground.
With the Light Strike. Actually hitting onto Seneko there. Crystallize trying to lead in with the time lock. Frostbite comes through. You see Argit starting to think about turning around and fighting this. The Frostbite will wear off as Crystallize is able to time walk back to safety. But they've got to wait for those ults to come back online, and as we've seen, even with them, it's so hard for Na'Vi to come out on top of the fights, with the fact that pretty much the entirety of Tigers lineup are a full item ahead.
Yeah, and now they just continue this pressure, right? Just keep these high ground visions, defend your wards on the side of Tigers, don't let Na'Vi get any space on the map. Place a ward on the bottom side too, so you can see whenever this Alchemist goes jungle, and immediately, 1.37, they're hunting, they found Magical.
He's all alone. No escape for the Alchemist.
Tigers are just playing this, yeah, perfect. They're punishing the greed, not giving any space. They want this place. They want the space to go to the major. So far, it's working. A hero we don't see very often, the Underlord, working out because of all the pressure they can apply on the lanes and just the little damage that Na'Vi has, like we keep saying.
It's being nullified with the pipe and the greaves. It's going to be so hard for Na'Vi to kill anybody. It already is.
And immediately, look, they show that Crystallize shows his face on the map, and right away they start sandwiching.
And they've got a supernova. That's it at the moment. Overgrowth now back up. As Arjit leads him with the Moonlight Shadow. Na'Vi, they have to get out of here immediately. Blizzy being focused by Moon. Pip Malice will not connect, but Moon pushes Blizzy away so they can grab the 2 bounty runes. Top, down, bottom as well, they'll grab them. Every single bounty rune going Tiger's way. It's a 14k lead at 20 minutes.
They're so good about like keeping their lead and just addressing the only way that Na'Vi comes back is getting some space to farm, getting these bounties. They won't let them. Look, immediately they start running bottom. They're just running from literally lane to lane, just hunting.
Yeah,
they don't care about getting farmed with creeps.
Magical. He's got to back up. They're closing in. They're on top of him with the Frostbite. He'll get the Chemical Rage off, but Zephyr's there with the wraparound. Jumps in with the combo. They're underneath the tower, though. Zephyr is split up from the rest of the team. They'll get the Concoction and Acid Spray down onto the Tiny. Zephyr will fall. Is now, with 1 man down, they've got to consider if they're really going to make around. Crystallize gets the setup with the Chronosphere out onto the 2 of them with the Mask of Madness. They beat down the Crystal Maiden. They surround Moon. The Bash is coming out. Na'Vi strike back. They'll get the 3 kills. They will be able to punish Tigers for just diving that little bit too far, overextending towards and beyond that tier 2 tower bottom.
They didn't have the lean and the Mirana there for Tigers. Like the other 3, they're pretty good at hunting until Chemical Rage comes out and the Tree Armor. They don't have the actual raw damage to deal through it without these 2 big cores. So Tigers, it's good that they're making moves around the map constantly, but they need to have one of those real big damage dealers to come in. Tiny provides a lot if he's able to get the combo immediately onto somebody, but Alchemist still kind of tanky. Na'Vi, they punch back, and that's just 1 ulti they have to use there. So now they do have the other ones to be able to thwart it off. And this game, it's all about if they can hold that high ground, stall the game out for Na'Vi.
Arjit trying to get the prediction with the arrow. They got the Yules, does cancel the dive. He does have a supernova, but he won't get it out. The perfect timing for the light strike will hold Seneko down. As Tigers back on the prowl, back on the killing spree. They also find Blizzy. Blizzy tossed up, he does have a pipe. That's 1437, he'll get the slow, the arrow, he gets him! But the pipe and the living armor, they're keeping him alive, not enough though. Starstorm comes out from Arjit. As even with the pipe and that armor, when there's as much damage as Tigers have, they can still very much kill that Enigma.
If they've got the Mirana and the Lina there, for sure. And we see the itemization. Look at this Lina's items. He's not going for some type of Shadow Blade. I mean, that would have been, always a good hunting item. But he's got a Blink, he's got a Yules, he's got an Aether Lens. And
that's a spooky creep. But they're out of there. So Tigers unable to find the catch in the bottom lane as Na'Vi straight back to base.
When Greaves do come out, they're gonna be so durable versus Na'Vi's lineup. And this Void is just still not able to catch up. Has Mask of Madness, but in comparison, he is far, far behind Tiger's cores.
Chu just trying to do what he can, soaking up the XP that's being farmed up by Arjit.
They need to be so efficient with their movements on the side of Na'Vi. Like every single time they get any space on the map, they need to go out, deward those high ground wards that Tiger's placing down, and just try to give Magical a game where he can get this farm up, to be able to give those Aghanims, be able to get to be that big beefy core that he can actually soak up Tiger's high damage potential. Positioned for a dive when they're trying to claim this tier 2 bottom, Tigers. So Blink, Yules, Aether Lens into a straight Aghanims on the Lina. It's all about just hunting for kills. Getting in position. Also the Blink Dagger can be incredibly useful versus the Void. If Void tries to jump in, you can get the quick Blink out. All about this pressure. So Magical gets the level 15 mark, which is a very significant portion for that Alchemist. You get that 400 health talent. Can be able to absorb some more of that damage that Tigers has.
2 have eyes on Zephyr. Coming across, trying for the D-Ward. Does get the D-Ward, but it costs him his life.
Yep.
As Na'Vi will be quick to reclaim control of that ward spot. 1437 and In Your Dream pushing in. Crystallize, maybe seeing if he can find the setup for the Chronosphere. Does he really want to chase forward for this? They've got the Frostbite. In Your Dream coming back in, but the Chrono comes out straight away. Oh, the Laguna! The distance. The Yules damage as well. Can he get out of this? He can't! The Frostbite kills him! And now the egg down. The egg will have been successful. Blizzy coming in from the side. The egg does fall. But the black hole setup's there. It's out onto the 2 of them. They've got In Your Dream. Arjit trying to leap away. Moonlight Shadow as well. We'll keep him safe. As Tigers, they back off. A 2-for-2 trade. Magical's got the dust. Can he get the concoction out though? He can! Yes, he can! He gets it out to 40-37. But Archie turns the arrow out onto Chu.
Lena
Living
buyback.
armor's there as he's trying to retreat, but the damage over time will tick him out. The buyback from In Your Dream will mean that the setup, the catch is there for Blizzy. Your Scepter and a Light Strike holds him in place. As Tigers, they buy back on In Your Dream, but it will keep them on top once again.
All the ultis used now, though. This is Tigers' time to try to break that high ground when they've got everybody alive and Na'Vi doesn't have anything to protect them. It's just the Alchemist for now. He has 2 more heroes respawning, but they don't have anything really to provide here.
They've got to get that courier as well out to the secret shop as Magical needs his Manta style. He needs to get that ultimate orb. There is a Crystal Maiden hanging around there. They've got to be careful with the courier here. 40-37 is nearby. He does manage to get it in and out, but there's the jump. They toss Magical back. Magical needs help. Soneko's been taken down. Magical gets beat down as well. Tigers, they take more from Na'Vi. 2 more kills, and they'll continue to push on.
And they need to take this tower down, too, because there's a tree armor, so it's going to get healed up if they don't finish it.
And they'll get it.
They do get it.
They get the tier 3 tower with the commitment. Moon has the pipe. Sunray's coming out. It's not enough. And in fact, Zephyr jumps back in. Soneko's got to be careful. Living Armor will keep him safe once more. The concoction does come out, trapping Zephyr underneath the tier 3 tower. They had to buy back on both Soneko and Magical for that, though. And as we saw, they didn't keep the tier 3 alive.
Nope. And an immediate back out from Tigers when they see those buybacks. Now the cooldowns will start coming back for Na'Vi, but it's a 15,000 gold lead. And Tigers, they're going to look to clean out those shrines.
And it looks like Na'Vi, they were unable to get the courier safely to the shop. Still needs to get that ultimate orb, Magical. As Tigers, they're all over this area of the map, making it very hard for Na'Vi to get over. Chu is trying for the lead, and they do have a Chronosphere available if they see an opportunity, but the Pit of Malice comes out in response. Soneko, he's trying here with the Supernova, but 40-37 and Moon, they're hitting it. They've got the overthrow. Can they hold them back in time? No, the 8 falls. Magical in on top of 40-37. The Chrono, it gets the 3 of them, but do they have the damage? The arrow, it hits Crystallize. They may have killed 2 of Tigers. Moon's trying for the Rift out. Can he get the Himanaji out in time? He can. Oh. So again, Tigers, sure they lose 2, but they still continue to come out on top of these fights, despite Na'Vi using their ultimates.
And it's very thankful that Blizzy gets the Midnight Pulse on top of that black hole, or on top of that Chronosphere. We see that most of the damage comes just from Midnight Pulse inside that team fight. Just able to set it up there. But Tigers, they get the bailout. Like we said, the Pit Lord, the Underlord, as soon as he has these type of all these defensive items, the damage is really mitigated.
Yeah, they can't kill him in time.
And now that is the ulti's used again.
It is. Time to push back in from Arjit and Zephyr as they're knocking on the barracks. Looks like they will be fine with Magical's presence, as Magical does now have the Manta style out to him. He's nearly got the money for Blink Dagger as well.
He has to be careful, though. He did use buyback. If he dies, that's going to be a long time without their strongest hero, their strong front lines for them to be able to set up. So we see Blizzy. He goes for these strong defensive items. He's going for a Crimson Guard of their own to try to
level
protect
15 talent did he get as well?
He got the GPM.
Does still get the GPM.
Yeah. But Underlord, we see he's going full all of the defensive items.
Yeah.
Has the Greaves finished up 2 on top, so if they do start dropping low, that extra regen and armor kicks in.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Invisibility.
Such a tough one for Na'Vi to
See
come
this
back
replay
here.
again. I mean, the Chrono.
Catches all of them, and the Midnight Pulse is down right on top of all of it for that damage applied coming through.
It could have gone a bit better, but the Pit of Malice just stopped Crystallize from getting quite close enough in time to get the Chrono out before they took down that Supernova Egg.
Yep.
Like, it nearly went perfect for Na'Vi, but just sort of these little things like the roots from the Underlord make it so hard for the Void to play around at this stage.
Yeah, it's so much control, like you said, on the side of Tigers. Just like the last game. It's a very similar draft that they went for this time around. And it's working again. 16,000 gold.
They have to be careful with this Moonlight. They're closing in on them. Time lockout from Crystallize.
Time
Dilation.
That's your hero, Owen.
Damn it, it is. It's alright, don't skill that skill.
You really don't.
No.
Zephyr. It's spotted. Magical.
Yeah, it's been ticked down by the Radiance.
There's a lot of Na'Vi's heroes here.
Can they do this? They do have the ultimates to play around as well if a full-fledged team fight kicks off. The toss is actually going to mean that Magical is out of the way of the arrow. Zephyr sort of saving him. Zephyr is still alive though. Does manage to walk off. Moon comes in with a wraparound. The pit's down onto Magical. Magical does not have the ult, but they do with the Chrono. They get it down, but the Rift is going to be there for Moon. It's looking to take the team out in time. Will it be that it brings him out? Moon takes everyone back to safety. Zephyr and 1437 are left behind, but they can still walk it off.
That's like every ulti. Now Tigers can reset. They can look to either go for the Roche or they can look to just go for fight.
Blizzy, he's in trouble. The Yule setup there from In Your Dream. Living armor. Is it really going to be enough along with the Crimson Guard to save this Enigma? It is not. They've lost Blizzy.
Burns, doesn't
They know there's no ultis available. Now it's a choice, Tigers. Do you go for the Roche? Do you go for the high ground?
I think at the least they can go for the bounty runes. We'll see Seneko is already heading out. He doesn't want them to get all 4 bounty runes, but he's not going to get there in time. In Your Dream's already on it.
They're so quick about it. Bulldog is very happy inside of the green room right
It's
now.
a 17k gold lead for Tigers.
Yep.
At 30 minutes in against an Alchemist lineup.
Yeah, and they're just keeping this pressure on. They're always there with multiple heroes. So much disable coming in, and now they're looking for the Roche.
They don't have anything to contest this with, Na'Vi.
There's no way they can try to fight this. It would be
They've got to let it go. They've got to let it go.
35, 55, 104. They've got overgrowth, but yeah, that one's not going to provide too much. As we said, the damage is limited for them to catch.
And In Your Dream doesn't find the connection onto Seneko. Zephyr's still trying to chase. With the dive, Seneko will be far enough away to get back to the high ground. As Tigers taking the Roshan for free.
Oh, look at this Underlord's HP regen. Look at that, 73.5. They got the level 20 talent now.
Do we have anyone that can get a Spirit Vessel on Navi's line?
They have one on tree.
They do have one.
But he has Greaves, so he can dispel it. He's usually using the dispel for the overgrowth, but
not if he's in the Chrono, though.
not if he's in the
They
Chrono
can
indeed.
get him in these sort of big ultimates. There is a chance that he dies. I mean, still without that
He's still
regen,
so
he's
tanky.
he really is. It's so hard to kill Moon.
And do they have now the Aghanims on the Lina? He's got this level 20 spell amp talent too, so the damage that comes through from Lina, if he does, he has it back at base. It is over 1,000 pure damage, around like 1,100-ish pure damage that can be coming through from that Lina. We do see Magical has picked up the BKB, so he's a little bit safer.
Got everything up in terms of ultimates, apart from that black hole. Just 40 seconds until we'll see Blizzy up with that one as well.
Yep, Tigers with this Aegis, they're backing out. They're making sure that they can just farm, push out these lanes. See, 143.7, he's running around with the tome. Okay, he uses it on himself. I thought he might be saving it for someone. But they've got some GPM talents too, as we see the Crystal Maidens starting to kick in above the 2 supports. I mean, look at the farm right now on Tigers. They've got 4 of the 5 top net worth, just like the last game. And this Crystal Maiden almost has the same net worth as Crystallize.
As this whole map and this whole game being controlled by Tigers.
Yeah, they just keep farming. They're doing the suffocation again now onto Na'Vi. They can't get out to be able to get any farm. Magical even afraid to step out, and Magical's the only one who's really farming at all now. We see now bottom. They look like they're trying to force out the lanes a little bit here just to make sure that Tigers can't set up all around. The Tigers, they just continue to grow that lead since they have all the space in the world to farm.
Aye.
Very nice. Full Aghanims now. And this is time. Hey, Tigers, they've got their lanes in good positions. They want to claim Arax.
Navi's got to get back. Now I imagine Crystallize does have a TP, he does. He's going to head back. They want to hold this. The arrow. Marge it. It connected. Blizzy's going to try to go forward, but the Laguna already comes down with the Aghanims. It's more than enough damage to just finish Seneko off straight up. Arjit committing with the BKB, jumps in. The black hole is there. It's holding down Arjit, but the light strike, it cancels the black hole. It's gone. They jump in. The kill got the third. There'll be a buyback from Crystallize, buyback from Blizzy. But he's got no black hole, there's no Treant, and there is no Phoenix for this defense.
And they've used their BKB on the Alchemist too. His Chemical Rage is back up now on Alk. He's trying to walk forward, but we see how strong Tigers is.
There is straight away again Zephyr with the 2-man avalanche to toss the control. Blizzy tries to turn, they jump in. Crystallize got the Chrono. Do they have the damage? The Radiance burn, the Supernova Na'Vi. They've got the Underlord, they've got the ZM. They're looking for more, they got that Aegis. Can they kill Arjit a second time? Arjit trying to fight back, beating into Seneko. Seneko keeps his distance, but the right clicks are enough. Arjit takes down the Phoenix. A Laguna Wave from the dream burst down. Crystallize, magical, controlled. Tigers, they get the 4 of them.
There's a buyback on the Alk, but everybody else is dead. The siege by Tigers. That Laguna Blade, I think that Laguna Blade almost killed Crystallize from full health.
Tigers, they can go for so much more here.
Look at the spells that casted. 2 Laguna Blades in the fight, 5 Light Strike arrays, 7 Dragon Slaves.
That Aghanim's making all the difference.
Just such an... it's just too much of a gold lead. Tigers, we had a beautiful setup by Na'Vi. They catch pretty much the perfect fight for themselves. But Tigers, they're just too strong.
As Na'Vi, they're going to try with just the two of them. They move in. They've got the root. The self-fuels will buy time for the Tiny to be set. And Magical gets the concoction up. BKB out as well. Beats down the Tiny. Buyback straight away.
Overgrowth on 3.
Allows Magical to keep the distance back off. 10 seconds until Blizzy's back in the game. They're doing their best in Na'Vi as the two of them to make sure they don't lose a second set of racks. But the Burst Laguna again gets the kill. The radius for the illusion though is ticking in your dream down. He's trying to run away. He can't. He dies to the radius burn. But back in the base, Arjit jumps in with a BKB. Magical gets bursted. Blizzy tries to come in as the BKB from Arjit allows him to commit for more. He's taking a lot of damage from the tier 4 tower. Oh, it's Arjit. He may just die. No, the moonlight.
Oh my god, he
It will
almost
save
died.
him from that last hit for the tier 4 tower. He gets back out.
He was walking along the midnight post as well, but he takes the path to the left, ends up surviving. But there's no Alchemist for 100. Phoenix and Enigma are way too weak to be able to contest Tigers when they have their whole lineup.
45 seconds until a black hole. Chronosphere as well, still down.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
As they will lose a second set of racks. Zephyr starting to poke and prod at Na'Vi outside of the fountain.
There's no Alchemist for 80. The team fight, like sure, when they have their ultis, they can be strong, but the Alchemist is everything for them. Tigers, they're looking to close it.
5 seconds until the Chronosphere from Crystallize. But this tier 3 tower is falling. They get the Yule setup. They're trying to come in and the Supernova comes out. He needs a perfect chrono. Can he actually get to the linear time? The Supernova is still going for now. Moon, he's trying to finish it off, but he can't. The Supernova successful. Moon's still very tanky. Spirit Vessel is down upon him. Crystallize gets blasted though. No chance for a chrono, and Zephyr's on top of him with the Toss Avalanche combo. They are without the Void Chew. He's been dusted. Blizzy walking in. He's got the black hole. They don't have the control though. The Yules comes out. The black hole cancelled Tigers. They found 3. The light strikes down onto Blizzy. Yules as well onto the feet. GG is called. And Tigers have done it. They are going to the major.
Look at Moon, he's so happy. Theban gets up instantly. 1-4-3.
One is going.
That was fantastic.
I mean, and a team. Game 2, game 3. These guys, they were able to pick themselves back up after 2 crushing defeats.